Do I tell my boyfriend about the guy I dated before him? We briefly dated, and he was a really nice guy, and things just didn't work out. We were not in an official relationship, and all we did was kiss. This guy just happens to be friends with my boyfriend now. That's so funny. That's like when...
Yeah.
Anyway, I don't know. That's like a movie plot.
Yeah, it is. That's like the little wrench in the story, I guess.
Yeah, that's like the 3/4 of the way through when like something goes wrong and you're like, oh, that's the guy?
Yeah.
I found this out because my boyfriend invited his friend, who he was sure that I'd really like, out to dinner with us. Wait, that sounds like out of a movie.
Yeah.
Like, I think you'd really like this guy. It's like, yeah, he's my ex.
Right.
He said hi, and my boyfriend was like, oh, you guys know each other? We said, yeah, and it was pretty awkward. On the drive back home, my boyfriend said he was happy to know that we knew each other. He noticed I was quiet, and he held my hand, and he asked what was wrong. I told him I'd tell him later because I'm still processing how to tell him. That doesn't seem that weird.
No.
That's something that I think you have to tell them, because if you don't tell them, that's weird.
Then you're making it weirder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You have to tell. Yes. Especially because your boyfriend, is going out of his way to be like, I think you'd really like this guy. You should be friends with him. I think you need to just be like, oh yeah, how we knew each other is because we went on a few dates. We did end up kissing, but it was nothing more than that. But I just wanted to tell you.
Yeah.
People are so scared to like tell people things.
I know.
Actually, one of our TikToks, I just put it up. We were talking about how like when you tell someone your actual thoughts about them, and I was kind of going on a rant being like, if you tell someone how you really feel and they leave you because of that,
yeah,
then like they're doing you a favor.
Yes.
And someone commented and was like, so true. But I've also found that people don't want to know the truth. And I was like, that's kind of true too.
Mm-hmm.
Like, I do think that people want to live in like this like blissful ignorance of like, everything's fine, we're on the same page. And then like they don't actually want to know how the person feels because it'll like change things.
Yeah. Right.
Like, I think that happens sometimes in situationships where people are like, it's like that phrase playing house, where you are in a situationship and it's like you're doing all the good parts of a relationship, but you don't want the responsibility.
Yeah.
And then so when someone's like, I like you, like, let's be official, then it seems like the guy is like, no, I don't want to actually date. Like, I don't want the label. And it's like, well, that's because you're being selfish. Like, that's because you want the good parts of a relationship and not the responsibility.
Why milk the cow when you can get the milk for free?
Yes.
Is that the phrase?
Why pay for the cow?
No.
Or something? No, I think that's what it is. It's like,
why pay for the cow? Yeah.
Yeah, when you can get the milk for free or something.
Yes.
Why buy the cow? Yeah, exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
We got there.
So I do think some people like don't want to know the truth sometimes.
Yes.
Because they're like, oh, it's easier if I don't have to like commit myself to you, and like we don't have to have this conversation.
Mm-hmm.
So I kind of agree with that.
Yeah, agreed.
Wait, I just had deja vu.
I'm
think scared. Sorry.
This girl's issue is like a different conversation. Like, do you have to tell your boyfriend about your past relationships? Or like in this situation, yes, kind of, because he was like the friend. But like in general, like, no.
I don't think you have to, but I also think that if you're in a really, really mature relationship, they might want to know about your ex. I don't know. I've definitely asked people like, what was your past relationship and why did you break up? That kind of thing. And it's really interesting to hear. And I think it's such a green flag when you can have that conversation and the person can be like, oh yeah, they're a great person, but like we're just not meant to be because of this, 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 and this. And like they can have like a little bit of like resentment and be like, oh, this was so annoying. Like once they like get into it and be like, oh my God, this was so annoying. Like it drove me up a wall and like I couldn't deal with this in my life. But I think it's such a green flag when overall they can recognize like they're not a bad person, but like just not for me. Like not for me at all. Because like what if you just started dating someone and they were like, oh, I really, really hated that she was so into social media and loved posting. Like I want to live like an extremely private life and not share anything on social media. I would be like, oh, well then we are not compatible because this is like my job and like this is my passion is doing this podcast.
Yeah.
So wouldn't you be like, okay, I can't date that person?
But maybe like it was more to do with her than it was to do with what she was doing. And he'd be okay if you were doing that because he just loves you more.
Huh, maybe.
Like I just think it's one of those things where, yeah, you can know it, but you also don't have to know it.
Yeah.
Like,
okay. Yeah.
It's not like a necessary conversation to have.
No, yeah, you're right. I don't think it's necessary. But at the same time, like, it's not necessary, but I do think there are things in relationships that you can be like, this is something. Yeah, you're right. Because you could tell the person the issue and the matter without expressing like, this is the exact situation it happened in.
Yeah.
Because I was going to say like, there was things in my first relationship that I ever had that I learned so much about about myself and relationships as a whole and like communication. And I was like, here are things that I did wrong and like blah, blah, blah. And I could use that information and like the lessons that I learned in my current relationship without telling my boyfriend like where I learned it.
Yeah.
But I also think that if they ever asked, I would be like, yeah, this is something that like, I don't know, or if there's an issue, like it could be helpful sometimes to be honest and be like, I've experienced this in relationships and it didn't work because of these reasons. So this is what I need going forward.
Yeah.
Because I feel like it does, like, it kind of raises the stakes a little bit when you're like, this is really important to me. And it's like the reason that X, Y, and Z happened with other people or didn't happen with other people. Like,
Right.
I don't know. But yeah, you're right. Like, you don't have to disclose every detail, I guess.
I just think like I could get married to someone and never know about their exes. Like I would be fine with that. I don't think it would change my opinion about someone to know how they were in a previous relationship because all that matters is how you are in this one.
Yeah,
and
that's
how
a
you
good point.
like how you make me feel.
Yeah.
And like someone could have been a total a-hole in their previous relationship, but like that was that relationship.
Right.
So, yeah.
But I guess not even how they were, but like things, I don't know. Yeah, I get what you mean. But do you think you'd ever be curious about it?
No, like no.
Okay.
I don't know. Like I'm thinking back on like previous dating experiences and like I just never like cared to know.
Okay.
Or like when I was younger, yes, but I think now in the past couple of years it's like no, like I just genuinely don't care.
Yeah. Okay.
Like,
interesting. I guess it does depend on the situation.
Yeah.
I do find that I am more curious though. Like one of those things where only ask if you're prepared to know the truth.
Yeah.
Because you could get information that you don't want or that like makes you like sad or insecure. But at the same time, I am curious about things, I think.
Right.
I find myself like asking questions or wanting to know more.
Yeah. I think that's fine too. It's natural.
Yeah. I guess it's subjective though.
Yeah.
But you could also, like in a situation like this, I think this situation is more simple. Like it's more simple. You didn't actually date the guy. Just tell your boyfriend how you met in the past, like whatever. But if you ever do have like these situations, you could ask your partner, do you want me to tell you X, Y, and Z, or would you rather just not hear about it? Because I think a mature person would be able to be like, no, I don't need to know. I don't need to know that detail or something like that. But then they also might be able to recognize like, yeah, I think that would help me like understand you better. Like, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Ask the information they want to receive.
Right. Right.